Good evening and welcome to the Stock Planner channel. This channel is about recognizing change and making a plan to capitalize on that change. In other words, making some money. It also focuses on using a simple strategy to achieve your goal. In my case, I'm using RSI or MACD. You could use anything you want to really do. And the third thing is make a plan and then take some action. I'm going to ask you today to take some action. Today's video, I'm going to talk to you about China and the importance of having some China stocks in your portfolio based on the fact that the world is changing. I'm going to try to convince you that a few China stocks will make you money. I'm going to show you my watch list of the China stocks, and I'm going to show you some trade ideas. So let's get started. This is the Stock Planner, and I urge you to take a look at our planner blog located at stockplanner.blogspot.com. It's an area where I keep a track of what I'm doing. It keeps my thoughts in line, and by putting myself out there, I'm able to find some mistakes that I've had made, spreadsheet mistakes and others. It's a good thing. Today we're talking about trading China. Every few weeks I'll update this because this is an area of focus for me. Will China become the economic superpower for the next decade? For the next 2 years, I believe China will be making some great strides in attempting to overtake the American economy. They have to jump on us. Their economy is back open. They have the virus under control. So the next 2 years will be rough. But after 2023, I still believe that it will still be America's decade. We're going to go through some issues over the next 2 years. Today, China has the busiest ports on the planet. They have the most high-speed rail, and the middle class is now, which is very large, is able to spend lots of money on luxury items. And the Chinese have a very robust tourist economy. I've made a recent trip. I've married a Chinese lady, Chinese eye doctor, and we've traveled around China, and I have seen the infrastructure being improved, the roads, the rail, the high-speed rail. One of the places I went to is traveled from Kunming to South China and seen the high-speed rail they're developing that connect the South. The Chinese have recovered from the pandemic. They've locked down. They have a much more controlled government, and they've restarted their economy. Meanwhile, America has lost their jobs. Over 33 million jobs have been lost. I think it'll take some time to catch up to China. China is open, and America is essentially shut down. I believe this puts China at a tremendous advantage over us. While Chinese companies have begun to normalize and recover, American companies, I don't believe, realize just how devastating this pandemic caused to the workers and the people of America. Other factors here is that the trade war had little effect on the economy of China. China is still building its transportation and power plant infrastructure while we're stalled. China is building railroads, and our railroads are crumbling. The Chinese people are working very hard to catch up to Tesla and trying to build an electric car. I believe the NIO will be a competitor for Tesla, but they are about 7 years behind Tesla. I believe Tesla will be the leader, but China will catch up soon. It's too soon to predict whether the two economies, America and China, will be friendlier under the current administration. But if we are soft, I believe we'll be once again taken advantage of and unequally treated. It's too early to tell. We'll see. Will China become the world's largest economic superpower because of the virus? The author argues that China is expanding its geopolitical influence, especially in the South China Sea. It's expanding its military and expanding its technological and economic edges. China possesses a very large population of potential consumers and buyers. China does depend on oil and other resources that they're willing to buy from other countries. So they're lacking some resources. But so the author was saying that they have a potential to be an economic power as long as they can get oil and other resources. But it also says that other countries do not trust China, and they feel that they're using some strong arm tactics. This lack of trust has prevented foreign investment into China. So the author believes that China will grow at a slower pace. And the fact that other countries trusted America after World War II helped catapult us into a world economy, world leader in it. Today, China completed a trade package with 14 other countries, in which America was not a participant. Under the American First policy, we have pulled out of several global agreements. It remains to be seen whether globalization is an advantage or disadvantage. But China has taken a leadership position. So here's what I think. It doesn't really matter who's in charge of the United States or who's in charge of China. We will be competitors over the next 10 years. China has gotten their virus issues under control and have opened their economy back up. This gives them a tremendous advantage at the moment. I will be investing in China. I have a Chinese wife, and we are watching the changes daily. Now let's take a look at the China market. This is a Finwiz chart, a weekly look at the world, and I've blown up the little section of China. And these are China stocks, and it's worth having a look and playing around with this. Over the last week, BABA has dropped 13%. Some of the companies that I have are listed here. Baidu, man, I don't see JD, but I do have JD as well. Now, another thing you can do is look at the ETF FXI. This is a chart of FXI. I'm using a software package called OmniBroker, which is a charting and financial programming application. I've been using it for 20 years. This line here is a 50 moving average, and you can see it has an upward trend. Also, my zigzag indicator indicates that it has been going up since about this time. We had a RSI indication right here, and an MACD indication right here is about 2. So if you played that, it would have been a very good signal, and it would have made a lot of money if you stayed in the trade. So 50-day moving average is still trending up, which is an indication that the stock will still be trending up. Took a dip here. And I kind of remember that day. The China stocks lost a lot of money. This here is an RSI down signal to be right there, but we don't take those because of the trend. The long-term trend is up. So there's no signals here other than back in October. So the overall trend for FXI is up. So one of the things I have the ability to do with OmniBroker is to backtest. And the nice thing about it is you can backtest a portfolio of stocks. And it's once you have a program, it's very, very easy to run a run. And what we have here is I have the watch list of my China stocks. And you see BABA, JD, Baidu, and to some iShares. This one is emerging for all Asian stocks. So what we have here is a backtested report, and you can see the price, the average price, the net profit, and this is total net profit, the profit percentage, the number of trades taken in the last year since January, the average profit per trade, number of bars held, the number of days held, and the number of winners. And in the case here of this first one, it was all winners. The first 4 are all 100%. Just taking the RSI. Now you have to wait a while, and you don't get a trade every day on this. You have to wait. But if you wait and have patience and wait for the right time, you can have you can achieve 75%, 70%. These, again, remember, this is back tested. When you're actually trading this stuff, things go wrong. It can really never trade your back test. Now, if you totaled up all the profit And the number of per trades, it looks like there's about 30 or 40 of them there. You get, out of 40 trades, you get $1,000. Now, if you just took the money in January 1st and put it into Apple, you would have bought it at 75, and so at today's price, it's about 120, which is a 60% increase. So if you just let your money sit, you would have got $600. So by doing all this work, you've made another $400. Now, you have to decide whether it's worth that time and effort. And because RSI is easy to trade, I believe it is worth it. Extra. Now, I know somebody's going to ask why you just pick the stocks that have 100%. Well, life is not like that. Things change, and there's no guarantee that these back-tested results will go forward. But you want to. All this is telling you is that you have a reliable system, a basic reliable system that works. But there's no guarantee to these 100%. If I had a 100% system, wouldn't be sitting here trying to trade $45 and $50 a whack. This is another spreadsheet that I generated from my Omni Broker program. It gives me the alerts or trades that I'm going to do for the following day, or suggestions that I'm going to do. I'm very unusual to take trades for the MA. When the close is above the MA, that's generally positive, and when it closes below the MA, it's negative. The stocks are about to go down. But if you see that JD took a big jump down, and so did NEO as a down as well. So these stocks here, Caribbean Cruise Line, and this is an emerging stock, are buys from the MAC, but I generally just take the RSIs because it gives me plenty of singles. Let's take a look at JD. JD jumped down. So this is a earnings report, and I'm not taking it. I'll wait till things stabilize and then maybe go up. So anyway, I think that China will be play a very important part over the future, especially over the next decade, and it certainly will be a leader. You should put some China stocks on your watch list. Now, here's a call to action. Why don't you take a look at these China stocks that are on my watch list and pick one or two, like JD.com, Baba, Baidu, or others, and do a little research. Put them on your portfolio tracker, using Google or use Yahoo Finance for your portfolio tracker, and just start looking at one or two of these China stocks. It'd be worth your while.